So, the last time I left off, there was a masquerade ball thrown by Thaddeus Avaricum of the Arendor Merchants Guild. He's the head of the Merchants Guild in the city of Arendor. During this masquerade ball, a few different events took place. There were conversations that happened, some that your character might have been privy to, others that Joe's character Seeker was a part of, or was able to be near enough to hear parts of. The bits of information that were picked up alluded to some sort of desire or kind of goal of either the Merchants Guild, its members, its leadership, or the political leadership within Arendor to cast a dark shadow over the other. And so, near the end of last session, the lights suddenly went out in the masquerade, and everyone was unable to see, and screams began to break out from that. There were screams of "I'm being robbed," and then there was a scream of pain from someone who had been attacked. When the lights were back on, multiple people attending the ball had been robbed, and one individual, the captain of the Arendor City Guard, had actually been mortally wounded. This is the ranking official above Samael, who is Craig's character. Her name is Leora Stormblade, and Samael was able to administer a health potion to help her to not bleed out and die on the floor of the ballroom in Thaddeus Avaricum's mansion.
Daddy,
Yes.
do you have a computer I can play Roblox on?
No, I don't believe. Sorry. Shortly after that, there was a shadowy figure that was seen fleeing through the library by Seeker. And the last thing that Seeker saw was this shadowy figure taking a step off of the balcony of the library. And the last thing that he heard were the thoughts telepathically of a bard named Evelyn Brightmore, who had attempted to accuse, or who was accusing, the prince that Seeker had actually brought to Arendor, who was selling firearms.
So we see a bard leaving, and we hear his thoughts as he's running away.
Seeker hears his thoughts, so he basically cast detect thoughts on the bard as they were leaving, because the bard had basically said, "Why did you shoot the? Why did you shoot the
She started
commander?"
casting blame, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Really too fast, so it was like,
Oh, sorry. I skipped a part. So, the captain of the guard was stabbed. The commander, or a retired commander of the military, so this is like the police and then the military, two people that are currently high ranking or that had a high rank. But the former commander in the military was actually murdered on the balcony of the library. And this bard had come in, and after the prince, who was Andrew's character, fired a shot at the figure that was leaping off of the balcony, the bard made an accusation that he had shot the commander of the military. And so she basically said, why did you shoot him? And was calling for help, asking for someone to arrest him, detain him, and Seeker then took action by delving into her thoughts and discovered that, well, I'll let you speak to what you want to share with him when you do that, but for your character, which I don't think you ever told me your character's name.
I'm still figuring that out.
The waiter who is now trying to regain his sensibilities as his lights come back on. Nearest to you is a young woman who you become very familiar with throughout this evening. Asks for multiple flutes of champagne and at every opportunity to bother you about something, about whether it's the hors d'oeuvres having an odd taste or something to that like. Lady Isabel Fairmont has been kind of pestering you throughout the evening with requests, and being in and around Arendor, having worked at different events like this, you would know of her as being sort of a very well-to-do socialite, someone who is in the runs in the circles with the High Chancellor of Arendor. She is a friend, someone who is seen often with the High Chancellor. She's been robbed, so she is like disheveled looking, down on the ground, kind of trying to, put the pieces together of what's missing, and you're just there, like holding this tray, like looking down at her, kind of confused as to what has happened. And as you look around, you see these individuals standing kind of in the doorway to the library. You hear the shouts from this bard, Evelyn Brightmore, and then you see the sort of like somewhat suspicious look on the face of this gnomish merchant trader. He's a captain of a merchant vessel known as the Black Wing, and he's familiar to you because you've actually worked on his vessel before. You've taken up, jobs here and there, just short voyages to try and scrape some coins together for different purposes. But in that moment, you notice Seeker just there, looking suspiciously at this bard, and as she kind of like shouts these accusations after the captain of the city guard has been stabbed, and apparently someone else has been murdered out on the balcony. But that is what you see. So yeah, we'll pick up there. What are you doing now? What is your next action, Seeker?
So the bard's walking away, and we're kind of, I'm guessing the police are coming up, the city watch police, the guards are coming up and trying to inspect everything, right?
Yep. Yeah. The lights come back on. There's 3 members of the city guard that enter the room from the front door, and they begin to first attend to their captain, and then she kind of like shoos them away, annoyed, and then after that they go to the balcony and they start to look out to see if they can see anything.
Honestly, I think you'd probably just stay put and keep quiet for now until questioned.
Okay. And then nameless waiter. What are your first thoughts, reactions after this occurs?
I think I'm frustrated because I kind of became a waiter. I became a waiter because I refused to be an adventurer again. And like being a waiter at these nice parties, kind of like surrounded by all the pampering and high society that I like really live for and like blew all my money on. So now I'm broke waiter, and I'm like, well, at least I'm not like in the woods dealing with monsters and kobolds and all I'm just like, I'm frustrated that the nonsense has found me, even though I'm like, come to like a very fancy place, so.
Yeah.
I think I'm like polishing a glass or something like really like too hard, like I'm like just ticked off, like this nonsense has followed me here. But I'm not like engaging myself with the what's going on. I'm just like
Doing your best to ignore it.
yeah, it's just like I'm like trying to look busy, like, but I'm just like talking to myself like I'm not gonna get involved. Forget these people. They don't tip well anyway. I don't care if they get robbed.
Yeah.
I'm like muttering to myself in the corner, like over polishing a glass, like probably about to break it.
Well, as you are polishing this glass, you are approached by Master Garrett Wendell. He is the chief steward of the Avaricum estate. This is the individual who would have dealings with you when you were hired for this event. And he approaches, seeing some kind of worry on his face, and just, good evening, sir. Have you seen Master Thaddeus anywhere this evening?
It's like, listen. I can't help. I'm not helping today. I can't. I'm just a waiter. I don't have any abilities or powers that might be useful to you. So I'm just.
I only wondered if you had seen Master Thaddeus.
Well, I'm not gonna help Thaddeus either. If that's what you're. If that's.
Well,
I'm done with that nonsense. Okay. Just can I clean something or something for you?
no,
Sir?
actually, if this is the attitude that you will take, then we will have to find someone else to replace you. And he like takes the glass out of your hand. You can leave your clothes, and I bid you adieu.
Hey.
Thank you.
Listen. I'm really sorry. But like, let's say that I did, just beat up whoever caused this nonsense. Could I get my job back?
If you were to, if you were to find this individual, then there would probably be a much more handsome reward than what your wages were for this evening. If you're interested in that sort of thing, of course. I don't want to assume anything about you.
Well, I mean, I'm just a normal guy. No powers, abilities, no magic at all. Nothing. And like, as I'm talking, a squirrel like comes out of my clothes and like he sticks his head
Oh! What?
and
What?
it's just like the squirrel is like super happy, super excited, looking around, and he's just like, and I'm just gonna turn and just like, would you? I said you could come, stay hidden, get back there right now. But like, to him, like, he just hears me like making squeaking noises, but like really angry. So I'm just like, get the frick back in my clothes.
He kind of like clutches at himself. Please, if you could take your rodent outside. Again, find who's responsible for this, and we will be in touch. But the rodent must go outside immediately.
Of course. I have no idea who that was, or
Well,
I have no idea. Yeah.
Wonderful.
He normally doesn't do that, but I don't know who that. I have no clue what that was. I apologize.
I'm sure. Thank you. And he just kind of like spins on his heels and like clicks away, like clomps away from you. The young woman who you were near, she walks by and oh good, there you are. I'm so flustered. Do you have any more champagne? I could just faint. Can you believe all of this?
I really can't. I really can't believe it. I really can't believe that I'm back here dealing with this nonsense. Is she like a good tipper, or is she like just like a pain in my butt?
She would tip you well when like the cameras are on. Like when everybody is watching, she like lavishly tips. But when nobody's watching, she doesn't really think about it. It's not like she just becomes like cheap, but she's sort of a performative. She wants to make sure that everyone knows who is doing, really good things and that it's her. So she's probably giving you, a couple handfuls of gold throughout the night, as this is like a very public space and people are, eyes are kind of darting around. So she's been making a pretty good show of it in this specific setting. But you've met her at other venues and settings where she's definitely been much less generous. So it's apparent to you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
now's not a good time.
But I am thirsty.
Won't you punch bowls over here, alright?
Oh, but I am supposed to serve myself? Well, I thought that Thaddeus was throwing a party. And she like turns frustrated.
So a guy's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, people are dead. Read the room, lady.
I am thirsty. And she just looks like she's making this like very like pouty, spoiled brat type of face. Like the fact that someone is dead is affecting her, but priority number one is still like her comfort.
I'm going to just like reflexively, like my hand starts to like gather like nearby like just moisture and like water from like cups and stuff nearby, like start to like gather into my hand. James,
Nope.
come sit down, buddy. Eat some chicken. James, come sit down. Come sit down. Come here.
Can I put my TVs off?
Okay.
James, did you want this door?
If someone didn't know me, they would just think that I was like
No, that's correct.
Jeez, man. Alright, let's just see. So yeah, she looks unconcerned. Well, not unconcerned, but concerned about the wrong things, I'd say. And so you said that you're gathering water in your hand.
I started to kind of gather like about to like just douse her, like just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're thirsty, and it was like reflexive and like just like my power coming out, and I'm just like kind of look, and I just kind of like I like throw it like, to the side,
Yep.
just like oh. Like it was just like I wasn't like conscious. Like I was just like I'm about to like, you know.
Do you look before you throw it, or you just kind of like?
No, I just like oh crap. Like I have this like ball of water.
Yeah.
Like in my hand, like maybe like below the table where she can't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like oh, I look down and I'm like oh, and I just like chunk it like.
Okay. Doesn't hit anyone, just splashes to the floor harmlessly. But Seeker, you wait as the guards come back from the edge of this library balcony, and they are confused and befuddled and say, okay, we need to form a search party and figure out where this individual made off to. And one of the guards goes to talk and have a conversation with Thaddeus. So he heads up the stairs and begins to go up to, you assume, to go and have a conversation with him. And one of them stands by to talk with the captain of the guard, and he kind of like talks with her for a moment and stands her up. And then after a few moments of conversation, she calls Samael over to her, and Samael comes over and she tells him essentially that they need to bring the prince in for questioning to see what happened, and because it was an open accusation against him by this bard, and they need to take that seriously. She says that she doesn't suspect it was the prince, but she wants to leave no stone unturned. And so Samael nods, and then he kind of takes the prince, just walking with him, not arresting him or anything like that. Takes him and leads him back into the city, towards the police headquarters. But yeah.
Well, there goes my paycheck.
But as this evening begins to draw to a close, you remember that the following day holds a bit more officious type business. There is a meeting with the Merchants Guild tomorrow, a public trade negotiation that is going to take place. And so you know that to be ready for that, to take part in it as a merchant carrier, you'll need to probably get a good bit of rest and try to unwind what's happened here tonight. But yeah, so what would Seeker be doing to kind of?
Well, I mean, what time of the night is it right now?
The ball was pretty late in the evening. It started about 8 p.m. and at this point you're peeking over into pretty close to 11. Okay. So you're getting pretty close to like 11 o'clock right now.
Okay, so basically he's gonna be making his way out, and since this is a relatively more lavish party and shit's kind of going down at the moment, he's gonna kind of take a look around, see if there's any like decent alcohol around that's just bottled, still full, hasn't been opened.
Oh, and at the ball there's a full open bar.
Okay. I mean, like one that
you're
one
just
that's
looking for
really
like a bottle.
really good stuff that hasn't been opened. Something that you can kind of.
Say, go ahead and give me an instinct check just to see if you can search for the good stuff.
That is instinct. 3 plus 9 plus 17 plus 20 with hope.
20 with hope. You locate a bottle of rich, like liquor that is labeled very simply with a large red M, and you immediately recognize this as Mordunian whiskey. And the availability of this drink is very rare. Like it says, in Arendor, it would technically be illegal. So to have this is a people around the city know that it's available in certain places, but it's also like if you get your hands on some, I mean, it's not often that you get some of this. I'll say that.
Okay, so I think at this point he is gonna kind of let his ex-pirate, seeing such a rare currency, he is going to make a sleight of hand check.
All right, go ahead and
Then I'm going to add my experienced ex-pirate into there.
go for it. Yeah, that'll be a finesse roll.
12 plus 7, 19 plus 4, so 23 with hope.
23 with hope. Okay, you easy enough.
And granted, I'm not just stealing it, basically grabbing it and leaving like a pile of gold,
Gotcha.
a handful of gold.
Yeah, you easy enough grab it, and you don't feel like anybody took notice of it or saw.
That was what was the name of that bottle? That was just put expensive.
Yeah, I would say just Mordunian whiskey is what it is. Yeah, if you look up to the north on this map up here, this is Morden. So this is a part of Eldoria, technically, but it is separated by water, it's a canal, and Morden is actually one of the regions within Eldoria that is not a membrane region of the Eldorian Alliance. So they, by geographical representation, share similar, like they're on a part of the continent of Eldoria, but they do not participate politically within the Eldorian Alliance. So that is part of the reason why this particular drink is kind of, rare.
Okay, so as I'm walking, if I'm walking by that and I'm grabbing that whiskey, would I see him by chance?
I'd say you have enough awareness of the room that you pick up on his conversation with the young woman as she kind of hails him once again for a drink, and you can see like the frustration growing, and so as you walk over to the bar, you see this conversation happening. Like she's standing next to the bar and coming to ask him to fix her a drink. And
but I see him kind of doing the whole.
Yeah, and you kind of.
Okay.
So we're level 14, which is like
pretty freaking strong.
Yeah. So, and I was 14 with him.
Yeah.
And we fought like krakens together and nonsense like that.
Whatever your merchant vessel might have encountered on the seas, there are definitely like
pirates, stuff, basic stuff. I want to say nothing too crazy, especially if we stick near safer waters, which most merchants would.
Yeah, you would have probably traveled safer routes, and maybe there was one venture that you took on that was a little more dangerous to try and like get a bigger payout, and so you might have brought this druid with you who had some capabilities that were favored in the water.
James is in the hammock.
Oh, nice.
With the iPad.
So as I sing, I'm gonna be like, wait a second. Don't I know you?
Oh, not at all.
And then my armor glows.
Sir, can I get you something? Like he's like trying to like voice.
If you've known me, you know I never go. You probably never know I never go anywhere without this armor. This armor glows anytime someone lies.
Yeah, totally lying. And then out of my clothes pops my squirrel, and he's like, the squirrel really like knows you and really likes you a lot. And
Hey!
he's just like chirping away like crazy. Just like, oh, pardon me, sir. I don't know what happened. And I'm like trying to like, I'm like trying to whack him back down into my nice like waiter uniform.
Yes, I remember you. You're that druid with his
Oh, I didn't.
with a very you enjoy the fancy things.
Hey, I'm just a waiter now. I'm not a D word anymore.
Well
Alright?
then, Mr. Waiter, if you want, you know my ship. You know where I'm warm. In this harbor. I have a pretty good bottle of whiskey if you wish to join me. A little fancy thing and then have a little talk, catch up. And then, not even letting him finish, walk away.
So, as the evening comes to a close and guests leave. Oh no.
James, sit down. Come here.
Leave.
Sit down.
I feel like I should have just like emptied these shelves.
Hey, eat this.
And your shift finishes, so you're free to go and do whatever you would like to. Find shelter. I'm not sure if you would have a home or a room within the city. So you probably would have taken up shelter in a kind of, not a hostel, but something similar to that. Like you're sharing room and board on a long-term basis, not having your own like dedicated home.
Very quickly before, as I want to say this, as I was leaving, I would have looked at him and been like, "You're always welcome up on the Blackwing. You know you are." After all, you did
Yeah,
something like
yeah. No thanks. I was seasick the entire time. Okay? And I hate fish.
Sure, but you enjoy gold.
I hate being a fish, and I hate eating fish. Okay? And I did plenty of that. No thank you. Keep your rocking, swaying boat.
Good thing I'm not on the sea.
Well, your boat's in the water, isn't it?
True. It is. But we're not there yet. It's just a river.
So as the evening comes to a close, and the two of you, are you making your way to your home? Are you going to visit the ship, take up his offer for a drink, or something else?
Yeah, I'll start to walk to my like super cheap room, and I'm just like, dang it. So I'm like gonna go to the port and look for the cruise boat.
Okay. Yeah. So you knowing the city well, you walk over towards the port that is. So this is a river port. So essentially, like ships come inland from the sea and they sail north toward Arendor, and then they make port in the River Breen, and you go to the port, and the Blackwing is a easily recognizable vessel. As you approach the bow of the ship, you notice immediately a familiar, physically imposing female high elf, and she kind of looks down over the bow at you. Oi! Fish boy! Is that you?
Is this
This is
Pharrell?
Haldy.
Oh.
This is the chief gunner upon the Blackwing. Yes, buddy.
It's not on.
It is.
It's like they turned off, so that's why.
Oh. Hang on, let me jump on.
Continue to continue.
Guess what? That's where he's from. He'll like talk to me and he'll be like, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Blah, blah, blah. Like, he's quoting that one. I knew he was quoting something. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, my back. Put the big guy in the small holes. That's my job.
What, I work today?
Oh yeah, that's a normal day. You know, they decide, hey, let's shove the 6'5" guy in a small little area. Throw him into the wing.
I got up like 7:30. I guess 7:30 is not early to people, but it's only early for me. And just like worked like crazy until like 2, and then finally took a break. All I had ate was Cheetos and like pistachios.
Do you work from home?
Yeah,
Okay.
but like when I have a break, I need to just like go lay down. But I don't. I like play video games or whatever. So I don't really like rest well. Like so then I'm like
Yeah.
even more exhausted.
Yeah, I think I've gone on Discord a few times and I saw that you were playing Turok. Not Turok.
Tarkov.
Tarkov, yeah.
Yeah.
Turok.
It's Escape from Tarkov.
I've played Turok, but it's been like 25 years.
I know, I was like,
Yeah.
wait, no, that's a pretty old game.
I used to play that when I got home, like middle school. But yeah, so this is Haldy, and she's the chief gunner in the Blackwing. She kind of looks down over the bow with you, and she's like, "Well, I'll be damned. What are you doing here?"
Just dealing with nonsense.
Oi, Skipper! And you hear Holly's voice call out from toward you, which I don't know where you would be.
I'd be on deck with everyone. I'd be like, I wouldn't leave the crew, really.
Yeah.
I'm not like the,
Going
Going
to
to
the
the-
captain's quarters. Gotcha.
oh, well now what, Holiday? You better not have seen another man you like.
You'll never guess who's here.
Fish boy!
Yeah, how'd you know?
Ah, I ran into him earlier.
Oh, oi, fish boy, come on up. And she kind of like gestures you to the side of the ship where there is a plank in. It is sort of moored into the dock, so you have a easy boarding.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, so you board the ship, and what's the nightlife like aboard the Blackwing?
Well, we're more moored than anything. We're actually not moored. Well, we're in port and everything like that, so we'd probably have crew going everywhere, but the priority of the crew would be probably the primary crew, not so much the hands up, the secondary. The secondary would either be like, okay, I'm gonna fun knowing you guys, good to know, or they'd be off doing something.
Okay.
While the primary crew are like just standing around
James,
like a family.
you're
Loud, rambunctious
dinner,
family.
buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, you board the ship and you definitely hear like music playing. There's singing, drinking, a bit of dancing, all within the context of like working on the ship. So people are kind of securing different cargo to the rails of the ship. People are swapping the deck, and you're immediately like swept back to the memories of the times when you ventured with the Blackwing. As you step aboard, you see standing forward on the ship, the helmsman, Skull. He's a human male, sort of live frame, and he is currently investigating, or he is inspecting a map and kind of either plotting a course or attempting to draw out and add a bit more color to this diagram or map that he has. But he doesn't take notice of you. He's sort of deeply focused on what he's doing. But amongst all of the crew, you see Seeker sitting on a crate and enjoying a nice bottle of Mordunian whiskey.
I basically hop off the boat, not the boat, the crate, and welcome to our nameless druid.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, nice to see you. Actually, took me up on my offer. As I pour him a glass and hand him one.
Interos. That's my name.
Intros.
Interos, yeah.
Interos.
Write that down. I'm a fawn. Or satyr. Sorry.
Interos.
Same thing. Interos.
Nice. Alright.
Yeah, they are Intros. As I hand you I'm going to hand you the glass.
I'm assuming it's like a dirty, like...
No, this is all everything clean.
But it's like, okay. Is this like a nice...
The ship is nice. The crew is rowdy, so they give you the impression of, would you say, like, they're like pirates with purpose. So they don't look like unkempt and like they haven't had a bath. They look like they still have that spirit of we do the bidding of the high seas, and however, they have had a taste of wealth and luxury, and so they tend to carry themselves with a bit more dignity. And so the glass that he hands you is actually very clean and not chipped or anything like that.
Yeah, take it. Thanks. And I like pull out like a
Right.
kerchief, and I was like look at it like like make it like really clean, and I'm like,
One of these days I'll get you to listen up.
can we just get this over with? Please.
Oh, well, alright. Sit back down on the crate.
Alright.
And then I'm guessing more or less likely the primary crew are going to be kind of like, or at least the ones that are around that I've told you about, and be like, God, they were around too.
Yeah, as you all begin to sit and drink for a moment and converse, small talk, catching up. Eventually, Haldy and Skull do make their way over and have a seat, and also take a glass and a drink. Haldy is quick to throw back the first glass and then immediately like set down the cup for a refill.
Oh dear.
What do you want from me?
Nothing. No time for change.
Just give me a refill, Skipper, please.
Well, savor this. This is actually the good stuff.
Whatever. And as you all are having that conversation, a large male turtle walks over and begins to waddle up. And this is Torrance, who, I mean, you obviously know, but Interos, you also recognize him as the first mate of the Black Wing. So this is Seeker's second in command, his right-hand man. Walks up, sits next to Seeker, and then
What happened?
I'm killed by the thunder. I did not. No.
Continue.
Torrance walks up. Well, Cap,
Oh, Thomas. Yes.
we only got a few more days in port here. I want to make sure that you were briefed and prepared for the trade negotiation meeting tomorrow.
Yes, I forgot about that. That's actually one reason why I wanted to bring our young friend back here. Have a little word with him, see if he wants a job.
Oh, Interos, it's very good to see you again.
Yeah, this isn't a long-term thing. Just don't get used to it. I'm just here to, I like bump into someone and I'm just like,
Of course.
I'm just here to deal with a thing and then you're not gonna see me again.
Understand. We all are dealing with things, so just make sure you're taking good care of yourself. So, Captain, we square. We got everything ready for this meeting tomorrow.
The meeting, yes. Did you actually, if I remember correctly, I sent a merchant here. Really, a jeweler. Jeweler.
Oh yeah, the jeweler.
He said he'd bring some pieces to take a look at.
He kind of like grumbles for a second and like pats his. Yeah. He came by, brought a handful of beautiful pieces, and I told him that we'd be able to take some samples back with us across the sea. I believe we're heading back to the Vesperin Isles, and then we stop off for a moment in where were we heading again, Captain?
I believe we were going to somewhere in Humber, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember.
But it's actually something else I want to talk to you about later on, you and the family.
All right. Well, if we got everything settled for the evening, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take my leave for the evening, Captain. You all don't stay up too late.
Don't worry, I won't.
And Torrance exits below deck. Haldy continues to drain the bottle of Mordunian whiskey as Skull just kind of like sits back in amazement. After a couple of glasses, he looks pretty like wide-eyed and just like he's probably hit his limit with the potency of what you all have been drinking. And you even begin to see, to your amazement, that Haldy herself has started to like get a bit like red in the face, and wobble a bit on the barrel that she's sitting on. She's just like, oh, this is the good stuff, Captain. I sure wish we could have some of this to take with us.
Oh, sadly that was the only bottle I could find. Well, as you know me, snatched.
Yeah, well, if you find any more, please bring it back.
Well,
Did you steal that from the event?
no, I paid for it.
No, Holly, she stands up and she kind of like wobbles to 1 foot for a second, and then she like sweeps her hand down and grabs the bottle. You'll have a good night. She's
Hey, Holly, before you run off, make sure Scotland gets back to bed. After all, first light, I need you guys to wait to work.
we'll be ready. She just grabs Skull by his like the back of his like collar in like a baby kitten, and just kind of drags him below deck.
I'm always amazed by that woman. Jesus, she kicked my arse.
But the two of you are left there, and you eventually, unless you have anything else that you would like to do for this evening, you
I was gonna get James stood up for bed and
Okay.
let him just lay down
Yeah.
with the thing, and then I'll probably take him home at like 10 or something.
Okay.
I just want him to have like the sleepover experience.
Yeah.
And
Just like
just like the sampling, cause I like I'll probably just take him home at like 10 and let him sleep there.
okay.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Do I set him up in cannons?
You can, or if you want to, he can lay in my room. Either or.
Oh.
I mean, other than trying to convince him to join up for a bit,
Yeah.
at least for sweeten the pot for him a little bit with a little bit of money, and
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure I would have heard the whole waiter and his deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you'd have picked up on bits of that conversation as well. Like his.
I'll wait for him to get down here for that, but then after that, yeah, downtime.
Okay. Let me go make sure he.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say unless y'all have anything super specific that you want to try to accomplish
No,
this evening.
just downtime now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'll convince them to join in.
Yeah. Reluctantly, but
Mm-hmm.
go along.
Especially if I dangle a little bit of info for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so pretty much all I'm gonna do is, luckily enough, I have the ability to do. This is a long rest, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
repair armor all the way because I needed that.
Yep.
And then I don't need any more hope. Working on a project. So, do I know like the security that would be in this merchant, like the negotiation, like the general,
Oh.
like how everything would be?
Yeah. Generally, there would be nearby city guard on patrol, as well as Thaddeus would have, like a guard, a personal guard that he retains. But it's not expected to be an event where there's like any contention or anything like that. It's just a
Okay.
sort of open conversation between members of the Merchants Guild.
Okay.
So
And I'm still trying to figure out this whole thing that's been going on with everything.
Yep.
So if I use this as probably a project, I was wondering if I can use one of my crew members' skills.
Sure.
So,
What are you trying to accomplish?
so Skull, I have him as a rogue syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can use his his favor attribute.
Yeah.
See if I can call in, like his foundation feature, his know somebody.
Knowing someone in the city.
Mm-hmm. See if I can get any information on the dealings and negotiations,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly something that has to do with what's going on with the gold situation. Like the system
Yeah.
that's actually taking it apart at the moment. Like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah. He
You just want to
so
roll a disadvantage
Skull-
since it's not me to see.
no, I think in this instance, given who he is and the amount of times that you all have traveled to Arendor in the types of places that he would have sort of frequented, he would have made contact with an individual that he has clued you into, named Kale, Kael, and in the few times that you've kind of encountered him, kind of comes off as very charming, quick-witted. He's a mid-20s human, lean and agile build, very much roguelike. And when he speaks to Skull this time, Kill informs him that basically like the word on the street is that the merchants in the guild are unhappy with how the city's leadership has framed or has set up their ability to profit and to continue to do business in Arendor. They feel as though the political leadership within Arendor is failing. But nothing more specific than that. Just that, kind of, since you all have been away, this is kind of what's transpired.
Right. And then any information about the possible negotiations, like what they would probably want. Because I'm pretty sure this is Kayla's.
Kayla's,
if he's a roguish,
yeah, he would not be
silver-tongued, he might
necessarily privy to the actual, like,
mostly
trade negotiations.
Mostly rumors.
Yeah, these would be, yeah. So he would say that, there's probably going to be an increased tariff on items that are being exported, especially along the northern roads heading towards Zephyr and towards Megatronus. So the preference now would be toward a export by sea. So exports by roads are likely to be hit with a higher tariff in these upcoming negotiations, based on the type of traffic and the fact that they are being targeted for robbery and theft. So he kind of gives you that little tidbit.
Okay.
But interest. If you had anything specific you want to do before the night, you can attempt to accomplish that, or if not, then we're gonna roll on into the next morning.
I'm gonna complain. I'd like to complain about my lodgings,
Okay.
whatever they are.
Yeah.
And they're not good enough. And it's just like, I'm just like talking about thread count sheets and what is it, like probably like a hammock or something? Or what is
And
the
like how long would you say that he was with us? Because if he was maybe a tenth, then probably, but
he was in and out. Like, he wouldn't have been with you guys for more than one, like,
one season,
Yeah.
basically. Then yeah, most likely it'd just be not so much a hammock, but just like a bunk bed.
yeah.
yeah, I'm just like looking at this bunk bed like I can't, it's like hours ago, I was like serving champagne at like a fine event, and now I'm like on this dirty ship in a bunk bed. It's not dirty, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
To me, it's like
Yeah.
He's being repressed. So you kind of sit in your bunk, have a full long rest, but it is not a happy one. You grumble and eventually fall asleep and awake the next morning. You all hear like just the sounds of like the morning waves kind of like lightly crashing against the boat, and you feel that little bit of sway as it kind of sits peacefully in the dock, and the sun crests up over the horizon. Secret, you know that the trade negotiation meeting is going to occur early this morning, and it is taking place at the Merchant Guild headquarters, which is in the northern part of the city, closer to the Avaricum estate.
Okay.
So you've got probably like an hour or so before this meeting is supposed to begin.
So would I know that, like I can bring like a crew member or something like that with me, someone to kind of have it back?
Definitely.
Okay, so first I'd be up early morning. Thank God for being half elf.
Yeah.
I would have already been ready. I've been in my nicer clothes, and I would have just waited for. Crap, names. I'm so sorry. I didn't know the name.
It's Ross.
Esteros. I'd be just waiting there for him to come out. And as he comes out, I'd be like, all right. So here's the deal. I have possible information. We're going after the bastard that you're going after. Yes, I heard your conversation with their damn waiter. Thoughts? If you come with me and help me out, I'll help you, and I'll let you back coins.
Fine.
Alright.
Let's just make this as quick as possible.
So obviously throw him the bag of coins, and then along with it I throw him some really fancy clothes to come with me. Get changed? Hurry up.
I'm like looking at these clothes like...
They're nice.
Yeah. It's like...
You expected?
Yeah, I'm
that's
like...
nice.
Yeah, it's like a ray of sunshine. And just like looking at like, oh, like... Okay.
Is this turning over a new leaf? Like, you're like, maybe I can stay aboard this ship.
As we're walking away, just here's, by the way, those are on loan.
Oh, and the ray of sunshine is dimmed.
Yeah, it's like back to reality. Back to... This is disappointing as I thought everything was gonna be. It's just like, it's like...
Yeah.
Alright.
So you all make your way through the city, and you begin to travel toward the Merchant Guild headquarters. On your way, as you pass by the Avaricum estate, and come upon the Merchant Mile, you begin to hear a lovely voice calling out in a very like rhythmic tone, and you immediately recognize this voice, Seeker, and probably you too, Indros, as Elwyn, and she is giving Evelyn. She is performing a scathing refute of the city's High Chancellor. She begins, "In the heart of Arendor, shadows creep and whisper low. 'Tis a tale of Lady Valerian, whose reign has lost its glow. The markets once so bustling now lie in disarray. Merchants cry out in despair while their fortunes swept away. O Lady of the fallen throne, your promises run dry. The city's walls are crumbling beneath your watchful eye. You claim to be our savior, but the truth is plainly shown. Arendor is bleeding, and the fault is all your own." And there are people that are heading toward the Merchant Guild headquarters. These are shop owners, investors, business people, and they are kind of stopping to listen to this, and beginning to give like a lot of like attention to it in a way that makes you all feel like they are like resonating with this message. She continues, "Your policies are failing. The people cry for bread. While you sit in your tower, their hopes and dreams are dead. You promised us salvation, but delivered only pain. The city's heart is weeping under your apathetic reign."
James, no.
It's like, what is wrong with this door?
Don't open that.
"So listen well, O citizens, to this tale of woe and sin, for under Lady Valerian our troubles all begin. Raise your voice, demand the change. Our city must be free from the chains of this veiled leadership and dark hypocrisy." And as she finishes, the crowd just like begins to go like raucous and applaud, and then they all begin to enter into the headquarters of the Merchant Guild. And as you all enter, it's kind of this like really large open forum with sort of like bench seating that sort of surrounds a central, larger round table. Sitting at the far end of this round table, toward the back of this room, is Thaddeus Avaricum in a large, like, very extravagant chair, sitting kind of not directly to his right, but sort of like at a corner of this round table is the High Chancellor, Seraphina Valerian, and there are other high-ranking nobles from the city that are involved in the Merchants Guild that are all sitting at the table, and different merchants and shop owners begin to kind of like file in and take their seats, and as they do, Thaddeus stands and kind of like bangs the table. Welcome, esteemed guests. Today we begin to forge a path of prosperity between our great city and the nations and regions abroad. I would like to welcome Lady Seraphina Valerian to say a few words on behalf of our great city. Lady Valerian stands and bows to everyone. I pray that these negotiations today may bring wealth and peace and stability to our people as we continue to prosper. Thank you. Thaddeus steps around the table and begins to address this congregation of business people. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and honored dignitaries, I stand before you today, my heart heavy with a deep sense of responsibility. Last night's events at the Avaricum estate were deeply troubling and unsettling for us all. The safety of our esteemed guest is paramount, and it is of the utmost importance to me. It grieves me to know that such a brazen attack took place under my roof. Please accept my sincerest apologies for the distress and danger that some of you endured. But rest assured that we are working tirelessly to investigate this heinous act, and we ensure those responsible will be brought to justice. Security.
How close are we to this? Like, are we like relatively close to him? Can I see him pretty well?
Yeah, you can see him pretty well. He's like walking around this large table, but you guys are kind of like sitting in these sort of like almost like pews that are kind of like wrapped around this room, so it's kind of like a hall.
So as I'm looking at him, do I see any possible like bullet holes, like injuries?
Go ahead and make an instinct check. What's up, buddy?
My TV paused.
Oh. I paused it.
Oh, you did?
For some reason I'm connected. Okay, go back, Kanan.
Oh.
Oh, dare you!
And like, I don't know why I have control over it.
Wow.
I was like, I thought it was one of these, so I just like paused it, and I was like,
So I rolled a 1 on my fear dice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do my midnight touched ability and re-roll that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now that's 19 with hope.
19 with hope.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually notice anything on his appearance that signifies that he was wounded or anything like that. There is say with the 19, there is a measure of calm that is in his voice and approach to his speech that you pick up on.
Okay.
And you're not really sure what that means, but it's definitely like a very much a reserved.
Sorry, that's actually. I said 19, that was actually a 22 with hope.
Okay.
I forgot to add my instinct.
But yeah, still, nothing in terms of what you were looking for.
Okay.
So was the attack on the party the event?
Mm-hmm.
Was it like what was taken?
So there were like jewelry and things of that nature taken from guests.
It was just like random stuff.
Right.
It wasn't like something specific.
So yeah,
You have 2
we'll
assassination attempts.
actually, yeah, we're actually going to get to that, but there was nothing that you were aware of last night that was specifically taken. There was jewels taken, like people were robbed, and then the captain of the city guard was attempted to be murdered, and then a high-ranking military official was murdered. So,
But they just like got in the. They were just like the guard. I guess I don't know what happened, but.
so yeah, it seemed like both the captain of the city guard and this person that was in the military was like in the path of the person that was leaving their exit. And so you're not sure if they were targeted or if they were just, bumped into that person as they were leaving and then had a scuffle with them. Because of where they were in the room, it seems like it could be either way. But yeah, so Thaddeus continues. So, despite the turmoil of last night, we gather here today to forge a new path of prosperity and cooperation. The trade negotiations we are about to embark upon represent a significant opportunity for Arendor and our friends from Belvaris. Together, we will discuss terms that will benefit our people, strengthen our economies, and build a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Let us not be swayed by the shadows of violence and fear. Instead, let us move forward with the determination and unity, knowing that our collective efforts will light the way to a brighter future. During last night's attack, an item very near and dear to me was taken from my home. Now, this is nothing in light of the life that was lost of one of my oldest friends, Sir Alistair Hawke. I grieve him, and as I've said, I promise to bring these individuals to justice however I may assist in doing so. So, with all of that, thank you for your resilience, your courage, your unwavering commitment to the betterment of Arendor. It is an honor to welcome you all. I look forward to this fruitful discussion. Now, let us begin. And so, Thaddeus once again takes his seat and begins to read through documents that talk of opening a new line of trade for weaponry from the Belvarian ambassador, which is Andrew's character, and how these trades will be mutually beneficial. Thaddeus signals to you, Seeker, and says, we plan to have the Blackwing take up the primary job of transporting these weapons from Belvaris to Arendor, and we trust that the agreed upon rate for your services will continue to suffice, with a 2% increase given the danger of the situations that you've been put under. Captain Seeker, do you agree with these terms?
So what would be the normal trade that I do, the normal rate I end up getting for this?
So you would normally take a 7% split, essentially, from what the purchase is. So they would, in this instance, you brought the Prince of Belvaris along with 30 of these firearms as like a a show of like what they have to offer for trade. And in this specific agreement, you've made so the city of Arendor, they have paid to Belvaris about 2 chests of gold, and so you have made from that transaction about 5 bags of gold, and so that's for a pretty straightforward job. That is a very handsome payout, and so what he's essentially offering you is a bit of a bump up from that. So say from like the 5 bags of gold to probably like 6 or 7.
So originally was at 7%, and then he's adding 2 to that?
Yep, so you're near 10% of what Arendor is paying for these weapons to be brought here.
Well, given the amount of distance we have to put in with everything that's going on, along with we go with a major haul, those firearms are actually really dangerous. You haven't exactly noticed.
Yes, and this is part of the increased wage. We took this into account during our preparation for this. If you have a counter offer or something to that effect, I would welcome it here. That's why we're here.
Well, it's not just because of that danger. It's also the danger of just coming here nowadays. I don't exactly noticed there's been shit going on in the streets. No offense taken, but this place isn't exactly safe anymore.
And as you say that, you notice that people are kind of uneasy. They're like shifting in their seats and beginning to like have side conversations, whispering to one another. Thaddeus. Well, I assure you, the city of Arendor has never been safer. It has never been
Safer? I went to a fucking jeweler and I got freaking attacked by a ghost.
I understand. These are occurrences that they are not common in our world, but these are not unheard of. The phenomena of the arcane and the unexplained, these things just happen. That is why we have a academy of adventurers here in Arendor. We train some of the finest heroes that this world has ever seen.
So I've been here a while. Do I know, like, are things really getting like dangerous, and like is unrest increasing like lately?
So you know that people around the city, say people who are members of the Merchants Guild specifically, have been agitated and feeling left out, forgotten, like something is wrong, but you don't actually know why. Like you can't really put your finger on exactly why they feel that way. You hear them talk about like, it's not like it used to be. Like, we used to be able to make this much money on a weekend, any given week, and now it's like it's just not the same. It's kind of this vague sense of disgruntled feelings, and nothing that is like ever since this happened. It's been like this. It's just sort of this slowly over time. People are starting to feel like there's a failure of leadership, and you can't really pinpoint why.
So Thaddeus is in charge? Has he been in charge for a while, or?
Thaddeus has been the head of the Merchant Guild for as long as you can remember. He's very well connected, has the seemingly unlimited financial resources, and say he has a very like publicly good relationship with Lady Seraphina, but with the High Chancellor. But you know from being around the city that there is definitely like a kind of unspoken tension between them. Like the Merchants Guild feels as though the leadership of the city is failing them to allow them to make the amount of money that they should make and to prosper the way that they should. And so that sort of inherently like sort of sets them at odds. And Thaddeus is very charming. He's very, very careful not to say anything directly about Seraphina Valerian, but you are wise enough and insightful enough to kind of like pick up on to read between the lines, essentially.
So, and the song earlier was about whose failings as leader?
The song earlier was a refute of the leadership of the High Chancellor, Lady Valerian. So, there was actually a bridge to the song that you all heard, that you remember as you like hear these like conversations going on, and you watching like the interaction between Thaddeus and Seeker, and then just kind of like watching Lady Valerian's behavior, and you remember this bridge to this song that said, "Whispers tell a darker tale of shadows in the night, of a noble son, a friend to all who vanished from our sight. They say you hold a dagger with bloodstains on the hilt, a chilling sign of secrets and a heavy cloak of guilt." And that part kind of struck you as odd because it just didn't make sense. It seemed very sort of like cryptic and somewhat like apocalyptic, like in its delivery. Like it's super vague and but yeah, as these negotiations go on, Seeker, you are offered that 2% increase to your current rate, and Thaddeus says if you have any counter offer, we would love to make this final.
So I'm going to, because I actually grabbed a handful of this during the ghost fight.
Okay.
And I probably would have kept it on because it's something I can use. I pull up the bag and I pour out a handful of tin.
Tin?
Basically the gold that turned to tin.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
From that monster?
Yeah. Yeah, so you pour out this tin on the table.
There is no safety at the moment. Not even for our gold. Not even for our lifeboats. This was once gold. Taken, somehow drained of its essence. I see at the current point in time, for a 2% increase, the danger that my family are going to see. The 2% increase on the 7% that I already am getting is not enough. That is.
Okay. Go ahead and make a presence check.
Can I add my merchant?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm gonna roll
Spin
that.
hope.
Yeah, that's what I hope. That's cocked. That's better. That is 20 with hope.
20 with hope. So Thaddeus kind of strokes his beard for a moment, and he looks at Lady Valerian. Well, my lady, I believe that we won't find more capable carriers on the seas than the Blackwing. Are we prepared to make a appropriate offer. And Lady Valerian, she just kind of like pauses for a second, and you can see like this look of just like concern and hesitation on her face. But then she steals her gaze. She's like, yes, we're prepared. We're prepared to pay you 11% for your services. So that's up 5% from your 7 previously. Or 4, sorry. Is this agreeable?
Gold-wise, yes. I would also like to add one more thing.
Yes.
These firearms that we were transporting, they would make perfect defense.
I agree.
I wish for 5 of these hand cannons, or wherever they're made, at some point in time, it does not have to be right now, to be pointed to my ship for our more primary crew, in order to ensure the safety and delivery.
Well,
Overtime, as I said.
why don't we allow you a purchase of these weapons at a discount, given that you are bringing them to us, and you can purchase however many you like. I believe that it would be foolish of us to mix that business and into trade with the cost of shipping and the deliverance of the weapons themselves. But once they are in our care, we can certainly make a deal to allow you to acquire some.
So an 11 increase is slight discount.
Yes.
All right, we have a deal.
And as it happens, you return to your seat, and Thaddeus knocks on the table again. Okay, to our next order of business. And as he says that, I'm gonna spend a fear. Suddenly, a window on the northern side of the building shatters, and you watch as a projectile flies into the room and explodes, filling the room with smoke and dust. The two of you become dizzied. The dizzy condition basically means that each action that you take costs 2 action tokens. And you hear muffled shouts and screams as people begin to move about in their seats chaotically. You feel people bumping into you, grabbing, and moments later the dust settles and the smoke dissipates. And as you're looking around at the scene, and the merchants and business owners are now like trying to find their way toward the exit of the merchant guild headquarters, and you hear a shout from Lady Seraphina Valerian, and she says, Thaddeus, what happened? And you look, and laid out on the table with a bolt sticking out of his back is Thaddeus Avaricum. The scene becomes somber as people look in disbelief on what has just occurred. What are the two of you doing when you see that?
Like a crossbow bolt.
Yes.
I gotta take James home,
Okay.
but I want to go find. I guess I would want to investigate more, but I want to go find Pharrell, my half-elf
Okay.
friend.
Yep. And Pharrell will be at this meeting as well. He's
Oh, she's here?
yeah, she's owner of an apothecary, so she's a part of the merchant guild.
Yeah, I want to talk to her, and I want to basically pay her to like get out of town, or convince her to leave, or you know.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Very
gotta
good.
get home. He's got school tomorrow.
Well, we can just wrap up there and call it. Yeah, that's a good place to stop.
It's seriously like a 20-minute drive, even an hour on the way here.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then James. I thought James maybe would lay down.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
Like,
I told him, I was like, we're gonna go have a sleepover and go pack your bag. And he like packed a bunch of toys and stuff.
That's
And,
awesome.
He was like, but he like packed last night. I was like, oh, we're gonna have a sleepover.
Yeah.